Die beiden Schwestern Maria und Nadia stammen aus dem Bundesstaat Montana im Nordwesten der USA. Trotz ihres Altersunterschiedes von 2,5 Jahren fangen sie beide gleichzeitig mit dem Tanzen an. Maria entscheidet sich, professionelle Tänzerin zu werden, als sie mit 10 Jahren von einem bekannten russischen Lehrer entdeckt wird. Und auch Nadia ist früh klar, dass sie Ballerina werden will.
Always. Oh, I mean, for me, always.
Yes. For me, it was when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And before that, I loved it so much. And I just knew that this was the most amazing thing, and it brought me so much joy. And I never thought of it as something to pursue as a profession, because I never thought of it as something that was a job.
Statt einer normalen Schule wählen sie eine, auf der sie sowohl ihre Ausbildung wie auch ihren Traum verfolgen können. Mit 16 verlassen beide die Schule und konzentrieren sich auf eine tänzerische Laufbahn.
That's a hard one, for me at least. I think that there's something good about everywhere, but I think the place that I most enjoyed performing actually was when I performed at home in the gala that we told you about for the Youth Arts and Action organization, because we were dancing together and I knew that I was doing it for something good, and there wasn't so much pressure for me, at least, you know, because you're not doing it for all these people who are coming to see the ballet and pay money, and I mean, of course they are paying money, you know, but somehow it's like a different atmosphere, because it's like for raising money for the organization, for the scholarships and the children, and then you just feel happy and more free, I think, and also for me it's really nice to be able to go home and dance there, because it's my home, and yeah, but I also like dancing here in the National Theatre, of course.
I think that each city that I've danced in has been at a different point in my life, and it's brought me different wonderful experiences. And of course they're unforgettable and they're very much a part of me, but I still would have to say that being able to perform at home where I live and give sort of what you've worked and put together upon the stage was quite a wonderful feeling and very enjoyable. But I mean, I love traveling, and I love seeing the different theaters, and it's been such an honor to perform in theaters around the world, and hopefully many more. So each one is quite special and enjoyable.
Als Maria nach Berlin geht, um dort einen Job am Staatsballett anzunehmen, kommt ihre jüngere Schwester Nadia mit ihr, um dort ihre Ausbildung zu vollenden. Um ihren Traum weiterzuleben, müssen sie sich der Lebensart von Tänzern anpassen, was vor allem ihr Üben und auch ihre Ernährung betrifft.
Yeah, well, we have training 6 days a week, generally, pretty much always, yeah. We have training in the morning, 6 days a week at like 10 in the morning usually. Depends on the day or how many rehearsals you have or what time the rehearsal's at, but it can be between like 45 minutes the training or like an hour and a half. So, but normal training should be an hour and a half.
Okay, but I mean, in general we work from 10 until either 5:30 or from 10 until 2, and then from 6 until 8:30. And there are some times where you don't have a day off for maybe 3 weeks because you have shows or you have other rehearsals going on. And we don't really have a set schedule in that way.
It's not so hard for her. Sometimes she's making a face. It's not hard for her.
Well, I mean, personally, I would approach it from a different aspect, and I would say that it's the same as with athletes, that it's just a part of your profession. And so that means that of course, you need to make sure that you're eating healthily, that you're eating protein to build your muscles, so that in the evening you have energy to do your performance. And I look at it from the standpoint of something that you do to keep your body in its top shape possible. And so that means that, of course, you need to be thin, you need to be healthy, you have to have muscles, you need to have the energy to go for it and to dance. So from that aspect, it's a part of our profession. So it's the same with athletes or anything else, that it's something that you have to focus on, but in a healthy way.
Yeah, it's not some crazy black swan thing like...
Beide sind sich einig, dass auch wenn die Arbeit manchmal höchst anspruchsvoll ist, all die Mühen vergessen sind, sobald sie auf der Bühne ihrem Traum nachgehen.
I really couldn't tell you sort of what happened or what I was doing because you almost go to a different dimension, so to speak. And when I was 15, I was 16. One of my most dear teachers, Marika Brasová, after one performance, she said, I said to her, yes, but like I go on stage and it's just this overwhelming feeling, and something comes over you that you're really giving on the stage. And she told me, which has been very good advice, is that this is something you should never lose, because it's very special and it's a privilege to be able to perform on stage. But with time, you learn how to best use that. When I was younger, I didn't know what to do with this feeling. I went on stage and it was just so, like I said, almost in a different dimension. And when you're younger, you don't quite know how to direct that energy. And it would sometimes be sort of like, okay. And as I've gotten older, I've learned how to use that more. But I still consider it was a privilege to go on stage. And I have to say that after performances, even if you finish at 11 o'clock at night, it still takes you like 2 hours to sort of come and be able to rest and go to sleep. So.
And then you crash.
Auch wenn ihre Eltern sie immer sehr unterstützt haben, ist es für beide eine große Hilfe, dass ihre Schwester auch tanzt und sie so den Weg als professionelle Tänzerin nie alleine gehen müssen.
Well,
yeah, we did both actually.
Well, it was very hard for us because we come from Montana in the US, and it's very rural. There is not much to do with the arts or with ballet. And as we said, our parents were not in the world of dance at all. So our path to becoming professionals has been quite long and it hasn't been straight. We really had to find our way, which is wonderful. It helps you build strength and you learn a lot, but it's not always the easiest. And because of this, we both work together with an arts organization called Youth Arts in Action, and they help and mentor other young dancers. So we had the performance together that we did in Montana for a gala to raise scholarship funds for young dancers. And at this event, we dance there together and we work together on it.
Beiden ist bewusst, dass eine Karriere als Balletttänzerin nicht unendlich lang dauert, sondern mit einem gewissen Alter beendet ist.
Yes, there is, and we've already started doing it because something that's very important for me is to mentor children and to help the youth. And I think it's also very important to preserve the legacy of the classical arts, because many people forget what they've learned and what's come before them, and it's very important to have that knowledge in order to move forward. So I would continue with the work I'm doing with Youth Arts in Action, this non-profit arts organization, and it would be mainly focused on helping children and youth and still working within the arts.
Yeah, it's something that we want to do together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love working with children, so I think I definitely want to teach. But somehow still with this organization. And yeah, we'll probably end up working together.
Hopefully. You learn so much in your profession along the way, and I think we've both been very blessed to work with extraordinary choreographers and teachers and been mentored ourselves by quite wonderful people. And it's, I feel, very important to pass that along. If you don't, then it ends up getting lost.
Von Kindheit an unterstützen sich Nadia und Maria und helfen einander, ihre Schwächen zu beseitigen und ihre Stärken zu fördern, sodass Rivalität zwischen den beiden nie entstehen konnte.
Well, there are many things that I very much admire about her. And I would have to say one of the foremost is her perseverance. And the fact that she really, when she puts herself into something or does something, she really gives it her all. And she has so much passion and love for not only her art form, but that she puts into her life. And it's a very good thing for me also to learn from. She really has an amazing sense of humor, which never fails to get me out of a bad mood. And
only she thinks I'm funny.
And honestly, I guess most it would be that she's my sister. And I mean, that's...
Is that what you like the best about me? Your sister?
Well...
Great success.
No, I mean that...
I think that you a hard time.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, both being dancers and we've been a lot of places together. You go through a lot together, and so we've always been there for one another. And it's wonderful to know that you have someone like that. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think that my favorite thing about Maria, in the aspect of her just as a person and her personality, is that she's really so loving and comforting, and she can really be like a mother in a good way, you know, in this really loving and comforting and caring way, which like she almost always knows what to say to make me feel better, you know. I just know how to crack jokes to make her feel better because I'm really bad at, you know, actually saying something that's meaningful, but she really can make me feel better almost no matter what, and even not, then she can always comfort me. And as a dancer, I think that the thing I admire and like the most about her would be her determination and how stubborn she is. She's also stubborn in her personality, which sometimes can be very difficult, but generally I actually really admire that about her because she's just doing it and there's no other way.
I know, but that makes...
No, not in a bad way, like really in a good way, like she's just gonna do it, you know, nothing's gonna stop her or get in her way, and that for me is really also something that actually I need to learn, because sometimes unless I have an immediate goal, then I can just lay back a little bit. If I have a goal, then I'll push for it, but she's constantly pushing, which is something that I should learn from, I think.